Hey YouTube, just letting you know here, this video that you're about to watch, everything in there is semi-auto. All of these guns are semi-auto. There is no full auto in this. These all are equipped with force reset triggers of one type or another. Every round that you see getting fired was a separate pull of the trigger by me. Hey there, it's Matt with 2A Cops. I'm out here today at the range, and I'm going to apologize right now for the wind noise you're probably getting over the microphone. It is crazy windy out here. Part of living in Idaho. What I'm out here with today is this brand new bolt carrier group from KAK Industry. You see on the table behind me, there's a whole bunch of guns there. More than half of those have FRTs in them. A couple of those I've never tried to run on an FRT lower, and some of those guns required an extensive amount of tuning to get them to run right after putting the FRT in them. I've got different types of FRTs or force reset selectors or whatever you want to refer to them as. Apparently the term FRT has been patented, so let's call them super safeties, force reset selectors, force reset trigger, whatever you want to refer to them as. Those are in there. What this is supposed to prevent is the need to mess around with springs and buffer weights to tune your gun. Supposedly, what I've been told is you put an FRT or a force reset selector or whichever one you're running in your lower, and you drop this bolt carrier group in, and it should run. If you've ever installed an FRT into a gun, you know in most cases that is not true. I lucked out on two of these guns. Two of these guns run. One of them runs insanely fast. I'm hoping this will tone that one down. But I've never had light primer strikes with it. It just motors on through a mag in a very, very short period of time. So what I'm going to do is the guns that I did tune, I'm going to shoot them as they are tuned, which most of them have just had H2 buffers installed on them. But I will shoot them as they run tuned. Then I'm going to put a standard carbine buffer and spring in it and replace the bolt carrier with this one to show you what the difference is. I can tell you right now, with the cost of tungsten has recently gone through the roof, H2 buffers have more than doubled in price. What used to be a $40 buffer is now almost $100. H3s are even more. So the fact that this does not use tungsten and you don't need to go crazy and buy expensive buffers, this might be a inexpensive solution that'll cure all the problems. Enough talking, let's get to shooting. The first gun I've got out here is going to be this guy here. This is a H&R M16A1. Technically it's not M16A1, it's a combination of two different upper and a lower, but pretty close to an M16A1. This has an Aegis super selector in it. This one I lucked out, it ran perfect out of the box. So this is bone stock other than the Aegis super selector. Oh, I guess I gotta put it in reset mode, huh? So running the trigger a little hard there, I'm locking it up. That's not the gun's fault, that's me. Let's swap out bolt carriers and see how it does. Okay, the KAK dead blow carrier is in here now. And yes, I'm running 20 round mags because this gun should have 20 round mags. All right, let's see what happens here. I don't know that I was doing anything different on the trigger. Rate of fire didn't seem to change at all. I wasn't looking at my ejection pattern. I do see a bunch of brass right behind me here. Worked perfect in that one, and actually ran more reliably than it did with the original bolt carrier. Let's try the next gun. Okay, next up, H&R 733. This is an 11.5 gun with a carbine length gas system from the factory. This is the Heat gun. If you've seen the movie Heat, this is the gun that Val Kilmer's running in that movie. This gun, I dropped an Aegis super selector in it. It still has a standard carbine buffer in it. It has run no problem every time I've taken it out. It does have an insanely fast rate of fire. So let's see how she does today. Like I said, insanely fast rate of fire, but has run reliably every time, still. But let's drop in the dead blow carrier from KAK and see what it does to the rate of fire. We have got the KAK dead blow carrier in here. Let's see how she runs now with the KAK bolt carrier in it. The brass ejection pattern was significantly different. You'll see that on camera. My brass from earlier is all directly behind the camera. That time it was all back here at 4 o'clock. I want to say the rate of fire was a little bit slower, but I can't swear to that. But running great still. And again, standard carbine buffer in this thing, standard spring. All right, next up, this is kind of a conglomeration of stuff. The barrel in this is an 11.5 BCM barrel with a carbine length gas system. It has an AS Designs super selector in here and a Geisley SDC trigger. In order to get this gun to run right, I had to put an H2 buffer in it. So let's see how she runs. This is in tuned form currently. So let's see what we got here. All the brass is 2 o'clock-ish. I tuned this gun to run without the can on it, so the can's gonna add a little back pressure, which may be why I'm throwing it right about 2 o'clock. Let's go swap out the buffer to a standard carbine buffer and put in the KAK bolt carrier and see what we get. Okay, when I was originally saying what was in this gun, I had forgot I actually did have a Springco red spring in here as well. So H2 buffer and a Springco red spring. I now have standard carbine buffer, standard carbine spring. I actually stole it straight out of the H&R 733. So 30 more rounds. This has got the KAK dead blow carrier in it currently. Let's see what we got here. Chamber around again. Much better rate of fire. Okay, next up. This is my Boise Black Rifle Cheap Bastard upper. I have not run it on a FRT before. I have been told it works perfectly no matter which FRT or source reset selector or whatever you want to call it. No matter which one you're using, running an H2 buffer. This lower is a Spikes Tactical lower. It has a rare greed FRT in it and an H2 buffer. I've run other uppers on this lower and it has run reliably as it's set up. So let's see if the Cheap Bastard upper runs on it. Turn my optic on here. I would say yes, that runs nice and reliably. God, that's smooth shooting. The can, Exigent Defense LE556, fantastic suppressor. So, that was rare greed FRT with an H2 buffer. Let me go swap out the buffer and spring to a standard, and then I'm going to drop in the KAK dead blow carrier. Swapped out the spring and buffer, standard carbine buffer, standard carbine spring. It's the one I stole out of the H&R 733. Put in the KAK dead blow carrier. No other changes. Again, this is the rare breed FRT. It is their 3-position one. And put it in reset and see what we do here. Ah! I don't know what that was. There's no primer strike at all. So I'm thinking I had something, failure to chamber properly. That round just did not go in right. Didn't want to come out. I had to mortar it. Beyond that, you know what? Let me run another mag through here just to see. Okay, got another mag here. We're going to run a second mag. This is standard carbine spring and buffer, KAK dead blow carrier. No issues with the gun, ran fine. I think that was a bad round or something. I don't think it chambered right and it did not want to come out. So something was up with that round. Gun has run fine. The rate of fire did change a little bit. The ejection pattern definitely changed. Let's move on to the next one. All right, this is the same lower with the rare breed in it, and it still has the carbine buffer and spring in it. This is a upper that is off of a prototype gun that we're going to be making. It's going to be a California legal rifle. This upper runs perfectly with an H2 buffer and a standard carbine spring on a standard lower. I currently have the standard bolt carrier in here. It should run probably too fast with the carbine weight buffer in here, but we'll find out. Again, I've never run this on an FRT equipped lower. This is the standard bolt carrier though. I forgot this has got that 5 power optic on it. I guess it helps if you chamber around. Seemed to run okay. Let's go change out that bolt carrier and see what it does to the rate of fire. Okay, so I thought it did run fine, but come to find out there was actually a live round in there that it had a light strike. The mag was empty other than that. So the very last round, it had probably a hammer follow. This has got the new KAK dead blow carrier in it now. Same lower, same carbine spring and buffer. Significantly different rate of fire. Definitely works, and it is locked open. So that definitely solved the problem on this upper. All right, what we've got here is a Boise Black Rifle Fat Bastard upper. I have never run this on an FRT lower. We've got 2 in the real world, and neither of those people have run them on an FRT lower yet. So I have no idea how this is going to do. This is the rare breed lower, standard carbine buffer and spring, standard Boise Black Rifle logoed K-spec down vent bolt carrier. And I'm running 147 grain supers. I'm running 20 round mags because 300 blackout is stupid expensive, and I don't feel like wasting that much ammo. Definitely a fast rate of fire there, and I'm going to be willing to bet that I have a light primer strike. Yep, very, very light primer strike. Can't even hardly see it. All right, let's go back at it and see if it was indeed just running too fast. It made it through the rest of the mag. The ejection pattern is 4 o'clock, but it was running pretty fast. So that was probably the cause of the light primer strike. Let me go swap out bolt carriers, and we will see if that solves the problem. Let's see what happens now. Wow, that stock is a piece of shit. That is a new Magpul stock. That just collapsed on me while shooting. That is no bueno. The gun, however, is running good. Whew. I don't remember what model this is. The MOE TR. Not a fan. Okay. B5 Bravo now. Same gun, different stock. Let's see if I can shoot this thing and have it not collapse on me. Yeah. The bolt carrier solved the problem on this gun. That was actually a perfect rate of fire. I don't know how it would do with subs, because supers are a little hotter, but that solved the problem. Done a bunch of shooting. Let's take this thing back to the studio and talk about it a little bit. If you have never seen the Jalapeno from Dillon Rifle Company, this thing is awesome. If you've ever shot a suppressed gun at the range, you know that usually you have to let the thing cool off before you can throw it in your car and drive away. The Jalapeno was originally, the material here was originally designed for 240 barrels. So when they were swapping out hot 240 barrels, they could drop it in here. You can shoot and get your can as hot as you want. I wouldn't say molten red hot, but as hot as I've ever had this can, you can drop it right in this bag. The bag is designed to take that heat, and you can throw this bag right in your trunk. No more waiting for your suppressors to cool off. So if you shoot suppressed, you really should take a look at the Jalapeno from Dillon Rifle Company. That's a shameless plug for something that I paid for. There is absolutely no sponsorship. It's a great product. I just wanted to throw that out there. Speaking of sponsors, Boise Black Rifle has been the longest running channel sponsor here at 2A Cops. They help me get all kinds of stuff done in the background that you don't see here. Huge thank you to Boise Black Rifle. Aegis Gun Care. I use their cleaners and lubes on all of my guns. Any gun that I build for Boise Black Rifle, whether it's a cheap bastard or a fat bastard or any of the other projects that we've got going there, those are all pre-lubed with Aegis Gun Care lube. Cans. They now have a suppressor soaking tube. It's inexpensive. This thing's 45 bucks. Comes with everything you need except for the water that you have to add to the solution. Everything else is in there. Soak your can, get it clean. Suppressor, not your can or your, I don't know. Take that how you want. And then last but not least, Wasson Watch Company. This is a phenomenally gorgeous watch. I love this thing. To address a comment that somebody made on one of my videos, yes, Wasson Watch Company is a legit watch company. The 250th United States anniversary watch that Wasson is offering is not available yet. Some of the images on the website are generated, computer generated. So somebody had commented that one of them looked like it was AI. They didn't think it was a real watch company. Those watches aren't available yet. That's why those are pre-production images. The dive watch and the field watch are very much real watches. I'm wearing one right here. Besides making a fantastic watch, they are also very pro gun, very pro 2A. If you look at their social media, you will understand how pro 2A. For that matter, just yesterday, Wasson Watch Company posted talking about getting rid of the NFA and the Hughes Amendment and the Gun Control Act of 1968. So they're right there with me on how they view the Second Amendment. Wasson Watch Company, the watch company that knows what time it is. Just got back from the range, did a whole bunch of shooting out there. Let's talk about what we got going on. This is the item we were testing today. This is a DBC BCG from KAK. Dead blow carrier, bolt carrier group from KAK Industry. Let me see if you can see it right there. There's this silver weight in here, and it has maybe 1/8 of an inch of movement, not too much. With this in combination with a standard carbine buffer, which is just the super lightweight one that comes in almost every gun when you buy them, the two of these combined weigh about the same as an H3 buffer in a standard bolt carrier group. So rather than having to mess around with different buffers, you can get this carrier, you can buy it as a complete carrier group, you can buy just the carrier itself. And initially, when I was told that this would solve the problem, you wouldn't need to tune the guns, I was skeptical. I know what's involved with tuning FRTs. I've done a bunch of my own. I've helped customers do it. All my coworkers have tuned a bunch of FRTs. There's some fantastic videos right here on YouTube from Tyler at Juicy Media, where he goes through whole videos talking about how to tune your FRT. There's lots involved to tuning it. At least there used to be. Now there's not. This is, like, I hate to say it, that there's like the secret sauce one-step cure to anything, but in my experience, this dropped in and fixed every single one of these guns' problems that they had prior to me tuning them. So I shot them in their tuned state out there, and that was, depending on the gun, heavier spring, heavier buffers, whatever it was that I had to do. Some of them didn't require any tuning to run, although they ran either really fast or moderately slow and like almost perfect. So this worked in every single gun, whether it was having issues as it sat or not. KAK is selling this in multiple different forms. You can get it just as the carrier. You can get a complete carrier group. They make it in their standard carrier. They make it in their K-Spec S, which is what this is, which is the smooth rails. They make it in the K-Spec carrier with the sand cut rails, and you can get it in the K-Spec sand cut. You can get it either with a dual ejector or a single ejector. You can get it down vent or side vent. So there's lots of options on this. If you don't want to replace your bolt, like if you're happy with the bolt you have, Or if you're like me, a cheap bastard, and you just want to save the extra cost because you already have a bolt that works, buy just the carrier. If you are building a gun or you want to be able to swap back and forth, buy the complete BCG. The carriers start at about 80 bucks and complete carrier groups run all the way up to 225 bucks depending on which one you get. Currently they're only available chromeline phosphate finish, but who knows, down the road they might start offering it in some of the other finishes that they offer. This is just literally, this product just dropped today. I was on my way out to, I was on my way to the range when I got a text letting me know that they had gone live. So this product is available on the website right now, and this thing actually works. It is important to note to any of the other manufacturers out there that are seeing this and, ooh, sweet, good idea. There is a patent pending on this. So don't go trying to rip off his idea. Let me show you here real quick. I'm gonna swing this other camera over here, other camera slash cell phone. Let me show you how this thing comes apart here real quick. It comes apart just like a standard BCG. I gotta get a screwdriver. It comes apart pretty much like a standard BCG, other than when you go to remove the firing pin, there's a little bit of wiggling you gotta do because of where the weight is. So as it drops out, it's gonna hit that weight, and then you can kind of finagle it a little bit out and it comes right out. Then the rest of the bolt carrier comes apart just like any standard other bolt carrier. And it goes back together exactly the same. That weight just stays in there. You're not gonna take that out. If you wanted to take it out, it's a roll pin right here. Drive the roll pin out, the weight will come out. Let's put it back together here real quick. So I'm gonna, well, while I'm doing this, I might as well clean this off a little bit. And there it goes, right back together, just like normal. There it goes. So back together, it goes in a little bit. I mean, you have to angle it and play with it just a little bit to get it in there, but it's not bad. As you saw out there in the shooting videos, I ran it on everything from an 11.5 H&R 733, the little short guy right here, that as it sits runs insanely fast. That the DBC drop in, slowed it down, made it a little bit smoother, fixed that cycling issue. Although that gun has never had light strikes, I don't know why. It should, the way it runs. The M16A1 on the far left up there runs nice and slow as it is, but adding that actually made it a little bit more reliable. I've noticed when I was running it earlier that I could adjust the rate of fire by depending on how hard I was pulling the trigger. With this extra weight in the carrier, it made that cycling more consistent. So even if your gun is not suffering light strike problems, which is common when you drop an FRT into guns, even if it's running but not having light strike issues, this could make that gun run a little bit more predictably and reliably. So I don't see any downsides to this bolt carrier. It didn't negatively affect the performance of any of these guns in semi-auto or in reset. And there are obviously upsides. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but H2, and H3 buffers have skyrocketed in price. Tungsten is vaporware at the moment. It has gotten very difficult to get, and the prices of like an H2 buffer have more than doubled in the last couple of weeks. Since that weight there is just steel and not tungsten, the price of this is going to remain pretty consistent. When you're talking about paying almost $100 for an H2 buffer versus paying 80 bucks for a carrier, pretty simple solution. And the carrier is going to be a surefire solution, at least in my experience. Buffers, it's guess and check. So we have people come into the store all the time who want to ask, what spring do I need? What buffer do I need to make my gun run? And God knows what gun they have. There is no, I should say, prior to the release of this DBC, there was no surefire solution. There was always, I wish I could tell you, man, but you're going to have to play with it. You're going to have to gather up some different buffers. Hopefully your friends have some you can try them out, try springs, and see what works for you. No more of that. This right here is the surefire solution, at least in my opinion and in my experience.